they're going to be center lines, right? So kind of zoomed in on this a little bit. You can see this line right here as it goes up is a center line, and this line right here is a center line. And I think both of those are pretty easy to understand on how to put them in. But even easier if you remember this polar tracking tool. If you remember way back at assignment 7, I think it was. It's that one with a bunch of circles that had the center line, and you had to do 30 degrees, 30 degrees, and all that cool stuff. This was the same tool we used. So I'm going to click that guy on. So that's going to give me the ability to lock these in. So let me just demonstrate that, and I'll go back and explain it. So if you remember, I've clicked the line and I've just clicked the center of this. And with this polar on, it shoots me all these green projection lines. You remember doing that? So these green projection lines, I'm kind of locked in at every 30 right now, which would be great, but I don't have any 30-degree angles here to start with. They give me 120, so I could probably come over here and I could use it for 120. That would be okay. But then I need a 160, right? So 40 from the 120. So again, that's not super helpful. So I can, if you remember, change the angle that that projection line is shooting at by the little arrow next to polar tracking. So I'm going to pop that guy up, and it's currently at 30. That's the default. And I'm going to change it to 10, because that way it's nice and easy for me to do math. So the 120, if you take a look, should be, by default, it should be kind of giving you that as a field. You can kind of see as I track around and I get those lines, it also gives me the angle. So that's an important tool. So my dynamic PCF you see there is giving me that. So I'm just going to lock one of those guys at 120 degrees. And again, I don't know exactly where it goes. So that's a question that I've fielded in the past. They're like, how long is that? I don't know. They don't tell you how long it is. So we're just going to make it pretty long and then shorten it later. So from there, I'm going to then put in one at a 160, right? It tells me that they're 40 degrees apart. The first one was 120, so some quick math on that guy. And I'm locked in at 160. And again, I'm making it pretty long. I don't know exactly how long. And these guys, if it makes you feel really good about it, you can put them on your center layer. People like that stuff, so it doesn't really matter till later, but and that leaves the trip hazard here of this guy. So this one they give you as a radius, and they tell you it's quite large. It's 2.215, and it is a center circle. How do I know that? Well, the line type is showing me a long dash, a short dash, and then a long dash. So I know that's going to go on my center layer, right? So it's a center circle. And I know the radius, but I don't necessarily know the center point. But it does give me some information about this, right? It tells me that this curvature right here, this concave feature, if you will, is showing me that the direction of radius is pointing towards this direction. And if I kind of estimate that this is approximately 2 inches away, again, this is going to lead me to believe that this dude right here is going to be my center point. Well, there's some more information that they give you. They tell you that this thing, if I'm kind of following this out, if I shoot a line straight down, this whole distance from center point to center point is 3.5, right? And this line is at 2.2. So again, that just kind of helps me verify that this is probably the center. And again, I won't know that absolutely concretely for sure until I actually put the circle in. But it does help you kind of read through this thing and estimate about where the center is, just using some other contextual information there. So,
well, is it from there or is it from the other circle? I mean, you're the teacher, so you know where you made it from.
But I agree with you. At this point, I'm